on agenda item, we do have a QR code or a sign up sheet that you can utilize for us. If you want to speak on an item that's not on the agenda, you can also sign up to do that as well. I don't see anybody running to
Expected more people to be.
do that. With that, I will call us to order. Welcome to the Bentonville, April 14th City Council meeting. And I don't believe we have a scat for this morning or this evening, so if you'll please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence, we appreciate that. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Sanchez,
Here.
Patterson,
Here.
Acree,
Here.
here, Suter,
Here.
Richardson, Burkhart,
Here.
Hook,
Here.
A motion to approve the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 and March 31st, 2026 meeting.
second,
A motion and a second.
Patterson,
Yes.
Acree,
Yes.
Eva,
Yes.
Suter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Mr. Suter, would you like to make a motion?
Make a motion to suspend the rules requiring ordinances be read on 3 separate days. Further move all ordinances and resolutions be read by their title only. Second.
Acree,
Yes.
Eva,
Yes.
Suter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
At this time, we'll open the committee of the whole and I turn it over to Chris, who's your chair.
Okay, is there any business before the committee or we can entertain a consent agenda?
Has anybody heard from that?
Oh, I haven't heard from, have you heard from?
Okay, thank you.
No. Okay, I would propose a consent agenda, items number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and utility board item number 1.
So moved.
I can reread them, yes. Item number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and utility board 1.
Is anybody here to speak on any of these?
I don't believe so.
I think that
Planning,
in or
planning.
planning.
Okay, perfect.
There's a motion in second, correct?
Eva,
Yes.
Suter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Acree,
Yes.
Hey, Mayor, I'll yield back to you.
Okay, close the poll and we'll open with new business.
I have a question. I'm planning on items 9. Map. The ordinance adopting the District 19 and 20, are those not the same?
You want to wait till we,
You said 9 or 19?
19 and 20. Looks like it's on there twice.
They look like the
Downtown
same thing.
neighborhood.
Oh, downtown center is the second
Yeah,
one.
there's two
The
different.
neighborhoods, oh,
2 different ones.
okay, thank you.
Okay, we will open with new business and we have a proclamation for Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. And so we like to bring in our telecommunicator team. I'll read the proclamation and then have them come forward. Proclamation reads as this, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of the life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the City of Bentonville Emergency Communication Center. And whereas the Bentonville Emergency Communication Center in the last year handled 110,840 telephone calls and dispatched 59,459 total police and fire EMS calls for service. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the City of Bentonville have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie Orman, Mayor of the City of Bentonville, do hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in the City of Bentonville, Arkansas, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. All right, come forward.
Real.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you very much.
Yes, look right here. 1, 2, 3. There, 1, 3. Thank you, guys.
Anya.
Oh, I don't, but I will say on behalf of the fire chief and I mean, we can't do our job without our telecommunicators. They are the ones that are answering the phone during a crisis. The first one trying to work through the problem while getting us the information. So we have 27 men and women in our telecommunication center that do police, fire, and EMS 24 hours. So, and they also handle a lot of other phone calls in the city because a lot of people, when they need something, that's the first line they pick up. And so I will just say, we appreciate all the work you guys do. We really do. And again, the support from the city council and the mayor's office has been great. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have one more proclamation tonight, National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. So we'll bring that team. Is that, we have some of those members out there as well? There they are. Okay. All right. Read the proclamation and I'll have you guys come forward for a photo. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated April 12th through 18th, 2026 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. And whereas animal control officers and animal care staff are dedicated to helping pets and people in the community every day. And whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers and animal care staff for the dedicated services they provide to the citizens, public safety, and public service agencies across the nation. And whereas animal control officers and animal care staff provide essential functions to the city pertaining to animal welfare and care, safeguarding public health through disease prevention and enforcement, and educating the public on responsible pet ownership for our community. And whereas the City of Bentonville recognizes and commends the work done by the employees of the Bentonville Animal Services, and specifically recognize the following employees for the many dedicated and long hours of service they perform in providing the highest and most efficient level of customer service to the residents of the community. Shannon Gabbard, Tyler Shambles, Logan Weber, Emily Kearns, Kristen Teague, and Kim Roberts. Now therefore, I, Stephanie Orman, Mayor of the City of Bentonville, do hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through 18th, 2026 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week in the City of Bentonville, Arkansas, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe, and animals. We need to change that law.
Six and a
Thank you.
You.
So we have a great group of people. We actually added one person recently. Sky Brown has come on as a new animal services officer. Logan Weber, Tyler Shambles do a phenomenal job for the city. They have a heart for this work. It's really intangible to try to describe how much care they put into the work they do. They truly want to be where they're at. They want to do this work, and I'm so proud of them. So that's what makes that department work. I'm just lucky to be working with them. So thank you all for supporting them and supporting our role. Thank you.
Shannon, I just want to say thank you for your reports that you send to
Oh,
us. I know sometimes it gets mundane and it's just another checklist, but I certainly appreciate that.
Thank you. I just, I'll try to change.
No, it's good. No, I just appreciate being kept in the loop. So thank you for your time.
They continue to do a great job of returning animals microchipped. So we'll do the plug for the microchipping so that we can hopefully not have the animals make it to the shelter. We can get them back to their home. So thank you all. Okay, items 3, 4, and 5 are on consent agendas. We need to read all of we need to actually pass the consent agenda and read all of them. So you want to lead with that? Okay.
New business item number 3, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement for the purchase of an evidence storage system from Patterson Pope Inc. in the amount of $159,064.84 and for the purposes. New business item number 4, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a 3-year agreement with Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. in the amount of $180,900 for citywide GIS software and for the purposes. New business item number 5, a resolution extending the temporary display of artworks titled Hawksbill Crag and Rourke Bluff by photographer Tim Ernst on public property in Bentonville City Hall at no cost to the city and for the purposes. New business item number 7, in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 8, in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 9, in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 10 in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 11 in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 12 in the city council for the city of Bentonville, Arkansas. New business item number 13, appointment of Becky Seba as ex officio to the Active Transportation Advisory Board. New business item number 14, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement with Your Total Fitness Shop in the amount of $107,392.13 for the purchase of fitness equipment at the Bentonville Community Center and for the purposes. New business item number 15, a resolution authorizing the remittance of sales tax on the purchase of 2 robotic mowers in the amount of $4,689.35 and for the purposes. New business item number 16, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Industrial Truck Equipment for the purchase of a 2026 cab and chassis in the amount of $120,978 and for the purposes. New business item number 17, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign a quitclaim deed to Lorraine LLC and for the purposes. New business item number 18, a resolution authorizing certain city departments to dispose of property rendered worthless by damage or prolonged in the landfill or by other available means and for other purposes. Utility board item number 1, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to pay the sales tax on the purchase of a heavy-duty forklift from Weiss in the amount of $10,339.80 and for other purposes.
I'll move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Suter?
Yes.
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 Seba? Yes.
Mayor, can you submit for your own rebate?
Use
On the sales tax?
your own rebate. Yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you choose.
Mayor,
Yeah.
Mayor, I just want to note that item number sorry, lost it. 5, which is the continuation of a display of artwork that we have in the city. It is so beautiful, so nice that we were even able to put it on the consent agenda. It didn't have to go for a specific vote. If you want-
So been in display for quite some time as well. So that's
It
always
is
good too.
that we
Yeah.
put it in there.
Yep. Yeah, we're appreciative of Mr. Ernst. Okay, I will go to item number 6, which is a public hearing and ordinance vacating an alley right away.
New business item number 6, an ordinance vacating alley right-of-way located between lot 76 and lot 174 of original town of Bentonville, subdivision of the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, Benton County, Arkansas, VAC 26-0004.
This time I will open the public hearing. If there's anyone online or in person to speak on the item, please come forward. Seeing and hearing none, I will close the public hearing.
Then I can move the item. Thank you very much. So I move the item.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Sanchez. Patterson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yeah. Sitter.
Yes.
Items 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 were on consent agenda. Utility Board, item 1 was on consent agenda, so we'll go to planning. Item number 1, which is a lot split, lot 3 through 5 of Little Osage Farms addition.
Planning item number 1, an ordinance accepting a lot split of lot 1 of Little Osage Farms addition, creating new lots 3-5 of Little Osage Farms addition to the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. Project number LS 26-0002.
So move.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Burkhart.
Abstain.
Hook.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yes. Sitter.
Yes.
Item number 2 is a final plat of Walmart Campus Subdivision Phase 21.
Planning item number 2, an ordinance accepting a final plat of lot 1 of Walmart Campus Subdivision Phase 21 to the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. Project number FP 25-0010.
Motion and a second. Any other? Roll call, please.
Hook.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yes. Sitter.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Item number 3 is a property line adjustment, lot 33, block 6 of Fair Heights addition.
Planning item number 3, an ordinance accepting a property line adjustment of lots 13-16, block 6 of Fairview Heights addition, creating new lot 33, block 6 of Fairview Heights addition to the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. Project number PLA 25-0016.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yes. Sitter.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 4 is a lot split of lot 42 of Clark's addition.
Planning item number 4, an ordinance accepting a lot split of lot 3 of Clark's addition, creating new lot 42 of Clark's addition to the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and for other purposes. Project number LS 26-0005.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Patterson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yes. Sitter.
Yes.
Agnew. Sorry. Burkhart.
Yes.
Hook.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Item number 5 is a lot split of lots 1 and 2 of Plumley's Place.
Planning item number 5, an ordinance accepting a lot split of parcel 01-08215-100, creating new lots 1 and 2 of Plumley's Place to the city of Bentonville, Arkansas, and for their purposes. Project number LS 25-0038.
So
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Avery.
Yes.
Siva. Yes. Sitter.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Hook.
Yes.
Sanchez.
yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Item number 6 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family residential to DN4 downtown mixed use residential.
Planning item number 6, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN4 downtown mixed-use residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0008.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 7 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 7, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0009.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Souter?
Yes.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Hook?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Item number 8 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 8, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0010. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Hook?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Item number 9 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 9, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0011. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Item number 10 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family residential to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 10, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0012. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Hook?
Yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Item number 11 is a rezone from R1 low density single family to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 11, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0013.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Hook?
No.
Okay, you went.
Oh. 6. Yes, 1, no.
Just being consistent with my past votes unlucky.
And we just said that we would restate any vote.
Oh, okay. I
Unanimous, so to make sure everybody
just,
it was reported properly, so.
yeah, I,
Item number 12 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family residential to DN3.
Planning item number 12, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low-density, single-family residential to DN3 downtown high-density residential and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0014.
Second.
With a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Patterson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Zeba?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Burkhart?
Yes.
Hook,
No.
Sanchez,
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. So motion.
Item number 13 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family residential to DN3 downtown high density residential.
Planning item number 13, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low density single family residential to DN3 downtown high density residential and for the purposes. Project number RZ 26-0015.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Acre,
Yes.
Ziba,
Yes.
Souter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 14 is a rezoning from R1 low density single family to R2 medium density two-family and townhome residential.
Planning item number 14, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of R1 low density single family residential to R2 medium density two-family and townhome residential and for the purposes. Project number RZ 26-0016.
So moved.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Ziba, yes, Souter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Acre,
Yes.
Item number 15 is a rezoning from A1 agricultural to C3 mixed use commercial.
Planning item number 15, an ordinance changing real estate in the city of Bentonville, Arkansas from its present zoning classification of A1 agricultural to C3 mixed use commercial and for other purposes. Project number RZ 26-0020.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Souter,
Yes.
Burkhart,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
Acre,
Yes.
Ziba, yes.
Item number 16 is a resolution approving a development agreement for the Central and Battlefield project. We do have 3 individuals signed up to speak on this item.
I also have concerns about this. I've talked it over with Tyler. There were 2 things in the agreement that I don't think the constituents understand, that they need some assurances. I think we do too, that not only are we going to deal with the traffic issue, but we will work with the state to be sure that those monies that we are taking in are spent to take care of the traffic modifications. We're not going to use them for anything else. The language is a little soft on that, but that we do need to work with the state if there's any approvals of any kind of engineering issues or whatnot that we need to make any corrections on Central. And that tends to be, it could take the state years to do anything about it, and we have control over some of that. I just think it would be helpful to have some assurances that before we issue an occupancy certificate, that the city will make sure that we deal with the traffic issues on Central and in the areas that we have partnered with the developer to deal with.
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of research on this because obviously it affects my ward. But I mean, as you read the agreement, basically it's wide open. So the improvements could actually be at Moberly and East Central, which does not help this particular project at all, because we're still not going to be able to get out on Battlefield, and they're certainly not going to be able to get out at Battlefield. 2 years ago, I heard, oh, nobody's going to use Battlefield from a city employee because everybody was going to go 8th Street. Well, we know how that's working out to go to the home office because 8th Street is now backed up. People are going to use the path of least resistance, which is Battlefield, because 8th Street already has its own issues with people either trying to get onto 49. I mean, it's backed up all the way to the roundabout, basically. So a roundabout at Central Moberly is great, but that doesn't address the problem that we have at this moment. This traffic study that was supposedly done is no new news to us that a huge home office has now opened and traffic has only quadrupled. Because when the traffic study was done, the home office was actually still on 8th Street. And so we've got bigger issues at an F intersection, and then to put high density literally on the size of a postage stamp. It's just gonna be a nightmare with no guaranteed traffic solution. There's no guaranteed traffic solution as of today.
Will solve the traffic issues at that area.
So-
But the city doesn't have the money.
Okay,
We're,
the thing is, if I understand it correctly, we had a meeting about this several months ago, and we went through all this, but this is not the only development contributing to traffic in that area. You just mentioned Walmart Home Office contribute. We didn't charge them anything for roads. We've not charged anyone else for roads. Whether we approve this or don't approve it, the traffic's gonna get worse. The next day, the next month, 6 months.
but if we add
year.
more, it's gonna get worse.
But we have a developer who's willing to give us 3 million or however many dollars it is to try to solve the problem, which is quite generous, I would say. And I doubt they'll be the last developer that we have that will collect a fee from in that area.
And we've already approved.
So the next development down the road,
We
we're gonna
also-
charge them too.
We only approve the project if we had 2 roundabouts.
But
We don't have 2 roundabouts, so it's basically not approved.
But we're the ones that came up with the city. If I understand correctly, the city came up with the idea of roundabouts to solve the traffic problem. Doesn't mean they'll ever be built. The state might not agree to it. The future development might dictate it, might not. I mean, but we've kind of got it reversed. We're getting $3 million from a developer to help us solve the problem, not the city being on the hook for it. Without them, we're on the hook for all of it.
But if we put $3 million at a roundabout.
They're the only developer on that
Bentonville
corner.
And Moberly, it's not
That will
helping
help solve the.
this solution.
it
the
will-
contract
No,
doesn't
because we
specify
won't be
that
able to get out. Yeah.
And use. the
It
money
could help solve the
For
problem.
that purpose.
I mean,
before
it
the
would help us get
project
money.
opens.
It'll help move traffic further along.
The free to you money, but it doesn't solve the problem of the development that we had already identified 2 years, 3 years ago. Because
So if we do nothing, we're still stuck with the same roads and the same traffic and the same problems and $0. We have no more money than we have now.
well, if other developments come in,
This is a development already here. They're here to
but
give us money.
we somehow got on the hook of that we would pay for part of
Not
it.
For anything. We never.
Yeah, we have
build
to
around
pay
it.
for our
We have
part
to
of
build
it.
If we don't want to.
Well, then we
Why
don't solve the
we take
problem.
it Then if we're not gonna.
Well, a stoplight might do just as good. as a
Exactly,
roundabout.
but we need to commit to something before we issue the occupancy.
But if you remember back, I mean, I'm sure if we said put in a roundabout, they would put in a roundabout. We're the ones saying,
Yeah, we
we
had
don't
a
know
meeting
what
about
this is
this.
gonna look
We all
like.
agreed to this.
So they're giving us a big pot of money instead to do whatever we need to do down the road once we have a little bit more knowledge of what that area is gonna look like. And that seems like a good idea. And then we can do whatever is best at that time, once we kind of know more. To me, that seems like a win to get,
We already know that we
think so.
need to mitigate the traffic issues at that location
So we need
anyway.
the money from the
And
developer.
I am not saying
Period.
turn the money down, I'm just saying put something that says the city will make sure this
that-
happens
that-
before we issue the.
But this money could go all the way to McCollum.
Well,
Like it can go anywhere. It doesn't
we're
have
in
to
charge,
go.
we're in charge of
That's-
appropriations,
Move
right?
traffic through that
We are in
area.
charge of appropriations on a project of this size.
Buck
So-
stops here.
Will we allow the money to go elsewhere? No.
Yes.
We don't have to.
You know,
Or we have an
but we-
open-ended
No, no,
contract.
no, I'm talking about if the city gets the fee in lieu of. We're in charge of voting where that money goes. 'Cause if they bring up something in the project, the budget, to go somewhere else, we can deny that.
Right.
Either it goes for this intersection or it doesn't. Or to rectify the traffic problem at this juncture where they're all coming together. Everybody recognizes this. I would, before I make my comments, I would like to hear from the applicant.
Sure.
And get their take on this. This has been a long ongoing years endeavor to get here. We've gone through everybody. I know the mayor's gone through it. Everybody's gone through a lot of back and forth. The agreement's grown. The amount that the developers will, I'd like to just hear a little bit about this. directly from the party that's been contributable to that agreement, if that's all right.
I'm not asking to change the intent. I'm just saying, let's make the language just a little more explanatory and specific to some assurances that we're gonna have this done before they open. Before we issue.
It's a state.
That could mean putting up a temporary stoplight. I mean, it doesn't mean we're gonna build around them.
But I'm just saying that we need to commit to having something resolved before we add more traffic to that
And
location.
I think that's inherently our responsibility, but.
so is it okay? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The change that Cindy is requesting, it is something that goes on us. It is against us, as you mentioned. So we are putting it there to give us freedom to do whatever it is necessary. Whatever we do is gonna be for the benefit of this section of the city. That's what it is gonna be. And if it is not, as Bill mentioned clearly, it is not gonna happen because we are gonna stop it. Because we have the understanding that this money is gonna be dedicated for this particular area of the city where the traffic as it is today is bad. And if we don't allow if nothing happens, it's gonna get worse. On the other hand, if the developer were allowed at this moment to continue building, he will use the $3 million that he or she is given to us. He will use it right now in order to build whatever has been determined that it is necessary for that. But it is not happening because the city does not have the corresponding funds to complete the rest of the stuff. And because the city does not have a complete, comprehensive plan that includes other developments to the east of the town. So because of that.
It's too early for them to
Yes,
be. a
because
party
of
to this
that,
discussion.
this is the best deal that allows the city to keep the money for future development that we, the city council, are gonna make sure that benefit this particular area in which Holly live and I live in the vicinity. So there is obviously a serious interest on our part to fix those problems, traffic problems in that area. And we are responsible for determining what is gonna happen with those $3 million. Are we gonna build a fountain next to the airport? No, it's not gonna happen. Are we gonna build a traffic light or a roundabout or an airplane transportation or something?
Somewhere else?
Or whatever, we are gonna do something in order to improve the traffic. The developer could, at this moment, start building and build the roads as they were determined, but the city doesn't have the money in the budget to complete the process. So it doesn't make sense. We better get the money today and let the developer do the development inside his property, and then we'll continue fixing the traffic problems that will be aggravated perhaps with the developments on the east side of the property that we don't know about at this moment.
So we get
This
this
is for
builder.
our benefit, so that when those future developments come, which we know are coming, we can actually take the whole thing into account and do the right thing instead of doing the wrong thing and it not working, and we're in the same position as we are right now. Right now, we have an F. We might make it an A until something else comes, whereas if we have the flexibility, when that comes, then we have the opportunity to make it the right thing for the entire area.
I'm not asking that we take any of that away.
But
I'm
it-
just
but
saying
you're
we put
asking us, you're
a
asking it-
minor, change a minor language piece in two of the areas in there that gives some assurances that we are going to fix the problem before we dump more traffic on there. It doesn't have to be the permanent solution. It
So are
does-
you asking for assurances from this council?
For the council, that
I
there
think
is
we could-
assurances that while we approve this development, we're gonna accept this and work together to do this, but we're gonna put some kind of timeline on it.
I think it's in the contract, and I think
Well, it's
also
not
we can
specific.
provide reasonable assurance that we will do our best, but we can't obligate ourselves to spending anything right now. I mean,
We can be like the state and say, in 15 years, they may do something with Central. We all know that they agree there's gonna be a problem on Central, but we have no idea when that's gonna be
but we can hold
resolved. And I'm not
future
saying-
developments to the same standard and get as much money from private development to contribute to the public streets as possible, and that's the only way to solve the problem.
I would just, and again, I've asked Mr. Watkins to come up. I would just say that in the last several years, the developer has acted in good faith street. And it's been challenging for all because we know that typically in a development, they go do what's only their responsibility. But it falls short for what we know that's going to happen down the road. So they've been engaged in all these conversations and the goalpost has moved several times. And so I believe that they've stayed in the good faith and they've agreed to our final deal, not theirs. Theirs was probably a couple million ago. But they've agreed to our final deal after a year now of negotiations. And we're now here finally resolving this one issue for somebody that's been trying to get this property moving forward now for, well, I don't know, 3 years? So 3 years. So
All the other expenses we've added to.
that's correct. We've added quite a bit, both sewer and other things that weren't on the initial thought process for the developer. We've added all that. Both the lines they have to run and contribute to, plus new capacities and everything else going on. So this is a big moment for them. They've stepped up. And if you don't, I'll yield anything if y'all allow him to speak on the agreement itself.
Thank you, Councilman Burkhardt, council members. I hope I can address and give you some comfort with some of the language that's already in the contract. Let's deal first with the city's ability to take the money and go somewhere else with it. That's addressed in several places in the contract. I'll begin in paragraph 3A. In the middle of it, the city may apply this fee in lieu toward construction of the improvements identified herein as its responsibility to the fee in lieu improvements, which are the components of the fee in lieu, or to other public infrastructure providing comparable public benefit. Further down in that same paragraph, now that if word is real important in this sentence, if as a result of alternative traffic solutions arising as a part of other developments, that's a nice way of trying to say if the hospital comes up with a plan that's better than this one, any part of the fee, if as a result of that, any part of the fee in lieu improvements are not constructed by the city may retain the fee in lieu or any part thereof. Y'all only get to keep the money, and there's only a chance that it would get diverted to something else if the hospital comes up with another plan. I would expect that you're not going to ask them to pay for 100% of whatever they do this. You're going to need this $3 million to help them construct whatever plan they put in place. The same language appears on page 3, paragraph B2D. The city reserves the right not to construct the roundabout or traffic light if, there's that word again, alternative traffic solutions are implemented and therefore retain the fee in lieu in such event. Appears again, page 4, paragraph E. The city reserves the right to not construct the battlefield roundabout if alternative traffic solutions are implemented and to retain the fees in lieu in such event. I guess we could have gotten there and said, if the hospital puts in a roundabout that solves this problem, you can keep the money and use it toward that. It might be some other developer. If y'all are going to be required to build this plan that's attached as an exhibit to the contract, unless and only unless the hospital comes in with something else, and in which case you can take our money and use it for your share of that. As far as the existence of city funds to do this, I remind you that the stuff on Battlefield, you've already got the money for. It's part of the bond project for part of the drainage infrastructure bond that you passed. Now, I'm all for something that says that the city will get this stuff done in a good prompt time, as Ms. Acree has suggested. However, it's got to be tied to my client's construction schedule. It doesn't make sense if prompt time is a year after my client's finished, or why would you hurry along and do it a year before my client's ready for it? I think it needs to be tied to my client's schedule, and that's how it's already set up in the contract, just to be logical about it. So I hope that's addressed some of your concerns. I'll be happy to address whatever other questions you have.
But the money has to be given at what point in time, and when will construction start?
The money has to be tendered, what's the language, Tyler? Prior to the pre-construction meeting.
The plan
So
for construction?
on the front end, prior to pre-con, I'm sorry.
The plan for construction?
Ryan, I think if we got approved tonight, be a year, year and a half before you start construction, and then a 3 or 4 year construction timeline. So it's some time before it would be completed. And by the way, the money that's in here has nothing to do with your sewer impact fees. That's going to be an additional $5+ million that my client will have to pay for this project in sewer impact fees.
So and all this money would be given at pre-con. So we would have an additional 4 years to raise the funds or another alternative traffic plan come up from another party. 4 years to raise the money or come up with other funds from other sources.
That's the more realistic likelihood.
Be a little more detailed, not specific, but just, I tied it to occupancy or whatever, which doesn't give you a date or deadline, but I don't want to see the improvements going years after this development opens. I don't think that that's going to benefit the constituents
Yeah,
in
right.
terms of
But
what
that,
they're concerned.
that is not on the developer, that is not
No,
on the
it's
contract.
on us.
It is on us. So why do
We commit?
we have to commit ourselves to something that we don't even know what it is? When we have the flexibility to use it in the best possible manner as the time comes and as the information is available for everything that we need. In the meantime, we get the money that we free the developer from doing whatever they need to do inside their property and outside their parcel. It is the city's responsibility to do whatever it is necessary and it is convenient at the time, not today, because today we don't know what it is the best solution. If we knew the solution, and then we'll be asking them to do whatever they need to in order for them to comply with this requirement. But we don't know at this moment. So it is the best for us to take the money and then have the freedom, because changing the contract or changing this agreement does not affect them. It is only us who will be affected by any change in the language. So we don't need to change anything because we are responsible for ourselves, for the betterment of the city. So we don't need to change anything. It is just like that. The best freedom that we can have, do whatever it is needed in order to fix the traffic problem when the information is available and the funds are available and everything is in place.
But
Right.
we're
I think
not-
it's bad enough, we'll do some, but we may not get it done.
But we have five,
But-
we'll have 5 years.
But when I met with the people that are representing the hospital, I said, I gave them this complete scenario and they said, why are we even in this conversation? He was like, if you put roundabouts there, we're not gonna pull them up. Like he goes, of course, everybody wants us to pay for everything. That was their exact words.
We can
So-
require them to pay for things. That's within our jurisdiction.
But we can't require them to pay for these 2 roundabouts.
Why not?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask
Because
Bill directly?
It's on this developer, not them.
It's a city problem.
Well, we've made it this developer's problem.
It's
So
everybody's
let
problem.
me just ask you a question. So the exhibit in the agreement, which represents what we intend or you or the city intends to build as our traffic alternative that's shown in the exhibit, right? Only if we come up with, as a city, an alternative solution, will that change?
Correct.
So we have something that we can plan for. We have, how much do we have currently in the bond fund for that street? Oh, more than that.
About 14 in that.
We have about 14 in the bond fund to
But
fix
that's
the
all for
drainage.
I mean, that was
Yeah, I think
for
that's-
the original design, which
Right.
was before the 2 roundabouts. So we have that.
I just want to finish if I could. So we have 14 million there. We never did the drainage fix that we have to do, which.
That's the
because they-
bond, that's in the bond funding that fixes in that.
Right, but now that we have somebody to help us defer some of that cost, and it's been redesigned, so that money is all this is gonna go to fixing that and its drainage right there. So we now are up to $17 million right now with funds available in hand. That's getting pretty close. So we have 4 years to work it out in our budget to make up any shortfall. And we know the exhibit that we're supposed to build unless somebody comes with something else better.
I think that's false though, because I have heard from our city, we are not interested in putting money into private development improvement.
It's not a
That's
private.
not
development.
private. This is our, a road and an intersection that's already F. This was an F when
Well,
we
that's
talked about
a
it.
different intersection. That's Moberly and Central. We're talking Battlefield
Battlefield has been the same,
and-
we had the same discussion 2, 3 years ago when we first started talking.
And that's why we said if we have 2 roundabouts, they can build it.
So
So
we have made a
if I can-
developer's agreement saying if you give us this, that's your total cost. It was lower before, now it's where it's at.
Into building it.
And so we are taking responsibility by taking this money that the rest is on us.
That's fine.
It's on us, and I'm gonna
here's-
Different discussion.
get
what we,
getting it done.
let me just, what
Well,
we
we
were
have.
hoping is that we could bring a design in front of you when this came through. That's why we had asked to wait till we could get it done. We don't have a design that we want to put in front of you at this point that we think handles everything that's coming there. We are working on it. I have in
Good.
fact wrote a grant letter because we think that the design to handle all of that will be considerably more. So we're working to try to get a design that we think is the right design to handle all the stuff there. We are also going to have to work to find funding for that. Yes, the developers are going to put in, but guys, what needs to happen there to really address the traffic is a major road project. So
Good.
again, I had hoped, and had hoped when this came through, we would be able to put a design in front of you saying, we're gonna use this funding towards this design. We don't have that yet. We are getting there. I just didn't have it for tonight, which is something I had communicated that we would, but you wanted to go ahead and bring it through, so it is.
I mean, how many years should
You
you
have an exhibit that's part of it.
That,
We can't wait indefinitely.
and that's their, and that was their choice, is that they
Well, they've
could
waited-
wait, so.
3
that-
years.
that was-
I mean, they've waited 3 years.
But our intent is that we will have a design to show you guys that we will have to find the funding for that better design. But what they haven't put in front of you is, yes, they have been back and forth with our team trying to get a dollar amount, and that's what's in front
And
of
this is the dollar
But
amount that we've agreed to for them.
Can I try to help
That's
a
the-
little bit here? 2 things. One, this is the design that was approved by you, subject to a cost share. That was the only contingency. And we made the mistake at that time of not deciding what the cost share was going to be. So now 3 years later, here we are. If, as Ms. Hook suggests, the hospital folks look at our design and say, great, we'll live with that. Fine, build it. That's what the money's for. Build it. As far as being concerned about whether you're going to issue certificates of occupancy without there being a functioning intersection, there's language in here that says if you guys are behind, or maybe the hospital is coming and you know what that's going to be, but you can't do it yet, that you could put in a temporary traffic light at that east central and intersection with the new road that comes on the north side. And in paragraph 6, it concludes with saying the city shall, important word in my business, as necessary, perform such improvements as may be required within the scope of the fee in lieu. So that's the components of the fee in lieu that the $3 million represents, to assure that the 2606 development is functional and ready for final inspection according to the phasing schedule of 2606 as may be approved by the Planning Commission. So it's got to match up with what the Planning Commission has, and it'll be on a schedule that the Planning Commission has adopted and approved as part of the large scale for the phasing of this project. I don't know why you'd want to tie your own hands any more than that, but that's up to y'all.
Well,
No,
Is this $3 million, this is on top of constructing the new road, is that's,
How about the new
Correct,
road's
right?
not a part of that?
there's a new road and the 3 million for the,
Yeah, the new road that runs up the east side of the property that's shown here in pink is entirely my client's cost and will be paid for by my client, totally independent and separate and apart from this fee in lieu. The fee in lieu deals with things out here, stuff that's going to be impacted by whatever happens out here where the hospital is.
Whatever it is inside the parcels, it is the developer's responsibility. The outside for traffic, it is also some of their responsibility. That's why they are paying us $3 million for us to assume the responsibility to do the best project whenever the information is available and we have the best plan that we can develop in that particular situation.
And it's what we asked of them.
and I heard
If I can say
the,
one, I'm sorry.
and this is not on you, because again, it's a city problem. At Fifth Street, when they were not able to get that property at Fifth Street, they could not line it up. So what is the city's solution for that traffic jam? We'll put a sign there that says, do not turn left between the hours of. That is how that traffic jam got, that's how it resolved. And that is not a resolvement. And that is where what keeps me up at night, because again, it's the city, not on you, but that was not a good way to resolve that. But, so how do I know we're gonna resolve this one any better? Because there's no enforcement on it.
Look, I understand.
And that's the other end of our neighborhood that we can't get out. So now we have two places that are probably gonna have signs, do not block
At
intersection.
least we can use the
Because-
funds to put a temporary solution up until the larger.
But
project.
will we? Because
Well, we
didn't-
better, and we need to be obligated ourselves that at that
Well,
time.
that's what keeps me
If
up at
that
night.
road's not, we're gonna take $3 million, we're gonna set it aside, and we're gonna hold it for this project. I would hope that this is set aside intentional funds, and if we have to put a temporary light up because we still don't have the larger plan in place or funds available, then we're gonna put that up. That says that in that agreement.
Ideally, we should not have had them do the altered without understanding the cost share on the front end. And also, the city is required in that you're paying for a portion of it. There are few pieces of property the city would have to acquire for the roundabout at the top. And that is what has given me anxiety with this, to be honest with you, because if we were to do that, you are committing us to go try to purchase that land from those landowners with no understanding of exactly what that cost is. I've struggled with this. I think you guys have done things in good
Because
faith.
there's an
But we're at where we're at with this project. In the future, I would highly suggest we do not come up with a design that we want a cost share without understanding the cost share on the front end and what the responsibilities of the city would be in that cost share. And do not get us into situations where we have to purchase property that we don't know what that's gonna cost, because Holly is right. On that other side, they couldn't get the
Yeah, they can
property,
get it.
the
and
fix
then-
there was not great. So I understand where she's coming from. What I would tell you is the city is committed to getting the right traffic mechanism in there. We will have to work to find the funding and get the right design. We think we are pretty close to that. Again, I was hoping that we could have brought the solution in conjunction with this, but it didn't happen. But so y'all need to make a decision tonight on this. I just wanted you to hear from us where we're at and where we think we're going with this project. I just can't put that in front of you tonight.
Just
have any-
I want to understand that, I just want to understand some story back here. We asked them to come to the table for discussions. We met with them last time. We didn't have a cost share put together. Our engineers have put a cost share together. Our both cooperative efforts have put a developers agreement together to execute. So this isn't anything that we weren't prepared to move. We gave it to them. This is your development report. Okay, we agree on these terms. So I don't understand why we're backpedaling on the terms of the agreement, since everybody has waited, and it seems like that the parties came together and has approved it. They've come in good faith with an agreement we gave them.
And I suggest we run some type of separate ordinance or resolution that commits the city council to do something before the traffic gets worse. I don't think it's on the developer. I think this is a very generous offer by the developer, and I don't think we should have approved it not knowing what we didn't know. That's on us. I'm just asking for something that commits the city council to act within a certain amount of time without giving a specific date, make it a little more tangible, because this
So let me ask you,
We've done,
is still loosely worded in ways that
Well,
will
we're
create some,
there.
I'm trying to clarify.
but it didn't say when.
we have
Could
done
be
fee in lieu of agreements for as long as I've been here, 24 years. I don't remember we ever have committed ourselves to how we execute. We just have to take care of it, but there have been so many developments that have come into this city and the traffic is still not solved. If we just waited till the traffic was solved for every development, we'd
Wait,
never
that's
develop
what you're
anything.
saying. We need to do something.
But I believe the language is saying that if it's not, there's a time frame in here. And if the master design and the funds hasn't been arrived at, we have to do a temporary solution.
We'll figure it out.
And
Now for a little history here that maybe will help a little bit. If you remember, were all of you here 3 years ago? I think you were.
Yeah.
3+. Your code requires my client to put in a traffic light at that location, at that north intersection. That's it. And that's what we went to planning commission with city originally. We went back to planning commission a couple of times. I think it maybe was staff that asked us to come back with the alternative of having the roundabouts that you see here. And we came to you with the traffic light and you all said, no, 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 we want the roundabouts and we understand it's going to be a cost share. Okay, that's where we left it. But we came to you with the traffic lights. Years passed, we learned about the hospital project and we learned that nobody knows what this stuff's going to look like. We didn't want anybody to waste money, so we came back to you to let us go back to the traffic light plan, and y'all rejected that. So we're back here at the roundabout, which is fine. We're going to do what you want to do, and we're going to give you $3 million to help pay for it. So that's where we are. And I want, again, Ms. Acree, setting a specific timeline is not practical because it has to match the construction schedule of my client. My client wants it.
Finished waiting for an occupancy.
Well, but you know what, if the city doesn't do what it's supposed to do under this agreement, they're going to have a problem with my client.
The problem with the client anyway.
end of the
if we
day-
get bogged down in interpreting the contract, courts could take.
Well, we'll keep our word, and that's what this council always stands on, is we keep our word. If we say we're taking this money for an intersection to repair it, we're gonna do that because if nobody at this table will break their word. So I assume we can all count on our word being met.
And if we can't get the right of way secured in time for the roundabout, we'll have to put up a stoplight. And then
That's right.
later we can
That's
do a
what the contract
We
says.
have the funds to do that.
If y'all don't have any other questions of me, I'll sit down.
Okay, we have
Thank you.
two others signed up to speak. Clara Duncan.
Hello, my name is Laura Duncan, and I sent a letter to y'all earlier today in opposition to this, just like y'all have been talking about the traffic issues. And as someone that frequents those streets every day, it is difficult sometimes to navigate around. And I worry about having 3 10-story buildings and all those occupants in there getting around. It kind of goes in tie with what you guys had earlier. I'm very thankful that we had those emergency responders and that we're doing the celebration this week. Because I put myself into what I was personally on January 11th of this year. I had to call 911 for my son. And if it was during a time of day when this traffic is like we talk about, I would have lost my son. He had to go to the emergency room as quick as possible. Actually, I had to get life flighted to the Children's in Little Rock. If it was during rush hour, first responders would not have made it to my house in time and not gotten my son to the hospital so he could get life flighted. He would be dead. We really need to put people, our citizens, in perspective when we're talking about these traffic. It's not just, I'm going to be late to my kid's game. This is life or death. So please, please make sure that we're putting the money in the right spot. We're getting the traffic flow where it needs to go so we can get people there. Because if we're going to have a giant job site there, we could have workers that are in life-threatening situations and we can't get our first responders there and then people to the hospital in time. Even if we're having a hospital that's getting ready to get built down the street, but we don't know what's going on. So please, please, for your loved ones, your neighbors, we really need to get this traffic situation under check. Ms. Hook mentioned 5th Street. There are times when we have to make a left there. It's the only way I can go out onto Moberly. And I use the little cut through that y'all designated through the Walmart parking lot. Well, sometimes that data center Walmart parking lot cut through is blocked because we're going through private property to make that left turn. Sometimes when it's crucial, I've got to go that way. I'm in an emergency. I'm on my way somewhere like a hospital and now my route is blocked. I have to figure out how to turn around. So we really got to address the traffic in this situation. I know the cart's behind the horse or however that goes, but please, 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 for our loved ones, we got to solve this traffic problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carr, for that respect.
Quick question. We have a lot of stoplights that we've taken down. Couldn't we put a temporary up ahead of time? And so we can get people adjusted to stopping at the new intersection or the old intersection until we're able to do that? We could probably put up a temporary one fairly reasonable and go ahead and get a light up.
That would create some assurances that we're gonna.
But I know transportation needs to look at all that, but if we're gonna put a light there, a roundabout there eventually, why don't we go ahead and help traffic during construction and everything else and get something there using the funds that's gonna be done at large scale pre-con. Before they even start construction, we'll have that $3 million. Why don't we put something up temporarily and help everybody? Now, it'll be using some of the funds for that, but
Can it be that close to Central and Beverly? That's what we don't, I
We'd
mean,
have, that's.
well, they're gonna put a new, they're gonna,
Meet those criteria.
Based on the same idea, Bill,
we could do it. We could figure something out either further along in construction or something. Get a temporary
That
setup.
would solve my objection with the contract.
No, that's not their response. They have a developers agreement we're approving tonight. But this is something we could talk about, in my opinion, and come up with a temporary solution because it's been a bad intersection since well before I've met a lot of people. I couldn't turn off of Battlefield years ago. You're playing Frogger, for those that know Frogger, every time you try to turn left. So it's been that way a very, very long time. And so I understand their concern. But we have an exhibit I think will help tremendously. And we have the money, so I think we can come up with solutions and we have time to do that. Because it's gonna take them a year before they even come to pre-con. Is that about right? A year to come up with a temporary idea.
Did we have other?
Leon. If you'll state your name and your address and keep your comments to 3 minutes or under, we appreciate it.
Got my timer going? I asked for one here, but we've yet to get one. Leon Fletcher, 8 Jordan Lane. Bear with me because I'm going to go completely off road from what I had written here after tonight's discussion, but I am just going because this may be my last hurrah. I have never seen a time in this city when we've ever put a 7-story building next to a residential neighborhood and we're fixing to put 4 of them in one. And that just irritates the crap out of me because I live there. But I had questions about the traffic and the money. I had a lot of questions about the money because you guys got to understand a lot of the people reading this are just common everyday folks like me trying to make a living. And it really is difficult to understand a lot of this. So I'm going to read you what I wrote. And maybe I understand a little bit of this better now, but this is for maybe somebody else that doesn't. There's in the letter from the Planning Commission to the City Council, this is something that was in there. And I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. The agreement explicitly allows the city to retain and allocate funds even if original proposed improvements are not constructed. To the everyday person, that sounds like if we decide not to do this, you got this money, do whatever you want to do with it. If you see something better fit across town, do it. That's how we read it. That's how we interpret it. And listen, just hear me out on this. Don't throw me out. To a lot of people reading that and seeing this $3 million fund, this money given, that could very easily be misinterpreted as a $3 million bribe to get votes to get this thing passed. It's just how, I know, I'm just saying how people could misunderstand it because they don't understand how it's written. So I don't know. And when we start talking about it, when you guys started talking before we ever addressed it, all I kept hearing about was look at all this money we're going to get. Look at all this money we're going to get. That doesn't help the people out there that's worried that nobody's looking after them, the people that live in the neighborhood, the people that's got to drive up and down that street every day. We're doing the same thing we've done for years in this town. How many people can we get them here? How fast can we get them here? And then we have a knee-jerk reaction because we realize we don't have the way to get people in and out of these neighborhoods now. We don't have the people to get everybody. When I talked to the Planning Commission about the new home office, they told me there's going to be so many exits coming out of there, there'll never be a backlog. Look where we're at. And this is our concern. When we pass this, everybody's got a plan. We don't know what we're doing, but we got a plan. We're going to end up with the same thing. Everything's backlogged because we didn't think ahead to fix the problem before it ever started. That's all. Thanks.
Just, I understand frustrations. Many of us and the mayor and staff has been working diligently to try to put funds to our problems. Bond funds have been in place since 2020 to fix it. Hasn't been fixed. Well, I get the concern. So I would say that a lot of this lies on us. We have it, and when I talk about additional funds, I'm talking about if our reasoning and shortfall has been that we don't have enough money, this helps us get there to fix the solution, to have a solution. And so I hope that this moves us in a way that we've all wanted to fix this drainage, because that was one of the first concerns before this project even came up, was drainage.
Well, and just to clarify, like, we're trying to get the right design for what's coming
Sure.
there. You don't want us to go build the original bond design because it's not going to, we'll get it built and it won't address your issue. And that's the challenge. It's just the timelines are not lining. And again, I hope that I could put in front of you something you could see in a design tonight, and I don't have that, be able to do it. I am hopeful we will have that. I think we're on the trajectory to get it pretty relatively quickly from here. I just don't have it for you tonight. So I understand. That's why I was dreading tonight, because I didn't have that put in front of y'all. But this is in front of them. I do understand from the developer too, that their timelines. And we have created a pathway forward on water and sewer. So that's probably, I don't know, but maybe another reason why it's coming through is until just a few months ago, we didn't really have a great pathway forward there either. So you had the road argument, but also the water sewer argument that we had. We did have solved that. And so with the development fee, they do have a pathway forward there. So I understand why this is coming tonight as well.
And I agree that this verbiage is very difficult to understand. And I myself called our legal team to get some further explanations on it. And I feel like Mr. Watkins has laid out pretty clearly all of the places that protects you guys, that states what we have to do. And so because of that, I feel confident that we have a plan in place, and that we aren't being short-sighted actually, because we aren't committing ourselves to something when we know that there's something else coming, and that we can actually have a cohesive project. So I think we are thinking long-term in that. And so I have confidence that this agreement is sufficient.
And I certainly will hope that you'll hold us accountable if we don't keep our word that we've made here tonight, because I certainly will, that this will be addressed. And so unless anybody has any other discussion, I'd like to make a motion that it's approved.
I do think we have to approve this, but I am familiar with the legal language that's in there, and I do think that there are some concerns, but if I can get a commitment from this body that we will do something temporary as soon as possible, that creates assurances for the public that we're going to fix this.
Well, can we make a commitment that we have streets look at it, and we
I
can.
think that's what we need to do anyway.
But the last time they looked at something, we got a sign that said, do not block exit.
No, what I don't want
Than that,
to.
No, what did we get at Fifth Street?
but that's another.
Which is the other way we get out of our neighborhood.
No, I'm not trying,
We have to.
what I'm saying is that I agree that, because this is a long project. And are we gonna wait? I mean, if we have funds available, I don't wanna also spend money and then throw it away either. There's a temporary solution, hang a wire from pole to pole and put a light up. It doesn't have to be everything. It's done all the time in a temporary light solution to help things out. I would think it's a good idea. We have a year before they even start. They'll give us the money when they do the pre-con, but they got to finish everything else, architectural, engineering, for, with all these changes. So we have a year to think about this and get this back on our plate. And then we have 3 years to plan it. So let's make sure that we don't forget this and we keep it as a review item every couple quarters and we can see how we're going. We can bring it up in finance. We can bring it up in other committees, just so this stays on the top of the subject matter. Just, hey, can you get an update?
But we could commit to some type of temporary solution that won't cost a huge amount.
So let's see what streets comes up with.
To do that.
They can come up with it, but give them time to come up with that answer. So we've got plenty of time before they even move forward on a pre-con. So we've got 10 months to a year before that even happens to start construction.
But Bill, I mean, my skepticism comes from things like we committed several years ago to start working on connecting sidewalks from the schools out, and then we have $600,000 left over that we didn't spend. Things happen.
Oh, I get it. You're preaching to the choir there. I get it.
Constituents, if we are going to do something about this.
Where's Tyler? Could you clarify me, do we have dedicated right of way for the original bond project through? Do we have everything we need for that original?
Oh, we did those appraisals a long time ago.
Dan would probably be the best one to answer that, but I know he has an exhibit of all of the existing rights of way and all the right of ways currently under negotiation right now.
About 5 years ago, we accepted a bid to do all the right-of-way negotiations and get the right-of-ways. That was over about 4 or 5 years ago when because I was surprised how high the appraisal cost was to get all those right-of-ways, but then I learned what they had to go through to get it all, but it was longer than before I even heard about this project.
But have we finalized the right of way, anything?
As this project comes through, yes, all necessary right of way for the Bentonville bond project and any future traffic improvements, including whether it's the 2 roundabouts or whatever the final proposed solution is, it would be required to dedicate adequate right of way.
Thank you.
I second Bill's motion to vote on this item.
Motion in a second. Any other discussion?
Did you read it?
Let's just read it again.
Just to be safe.
I'm pretty sure I did, but I want planning item number 16, a resolution approving a development agreement for the Central and Battlefield project and for other purposes.
So moved.
Second,
Burkhart?
Yes.
No.
yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Acre?
No.
Zeba? Yes. Studer?
Yes.
I guess no one
Good discussion.
Item number 17 is an ordinance adopting the Bentonville Community Code.
Planning item number 17, an ordinance adopting the Bentonville Community Code pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-56-301 and for other purposes.
So moved.
Second.
I think we have some comments on the line.
I went to code school.
No,
I don't have anybody signed up, but if now is the time for discussion, so.
As I say, we got a lot of emails like here in the 9th inning
Yeah.
about that East Central. It's like they thought they were getting suburban neighborhood. Is Tyler here? Oh, there you are. Sorry, I was looking back because you were on the back row. Have you seen the emails?
I have.
They
and I-
literally came in like
Yep.
late, but they thought they were getting suburban neighborhood and now they can get 3-story office buildings right behind that Stonebridge
Yeah.
neighborhood.
That property is currently zoned RO. So the property in question is currently zoned RO and would allow for 3-story office buildings today. What we did back last year when we adopted the future land use map, the land use category for that tract and for that entire vicinity currently shows as suburban neighborhood. So when we're adopting the zoning map itself, we had to do as close as we could do a 1-to-1 translation. And the closest translation from RO was T4.2 as we're adopting these new zoning districts. So this property, we did a direct translation from RO, or proposing a direct translation from RO to T4.2, just like what we've done on all the other RO zoned properties in the city. Now, if someone wanted to come and rezone to like a T5.1, which is more of the scale of what was being proposed previously on that piece of property through a PRD,
Well, they wouldn't be able to do that because the future land use map for that piece of property is suburban neighborhood.
So what would be, are there anything that would be allowed in a T 2.4, is that right?
4.2.
Sorry, T 4.2 that would not currently be allowed in the RO?
So, and that's, I said as close as I could to a one-to-one translation. So the 4.2 allows for a little bit more commercial activity than the RO does. The height is comparable, but I think the height in T 4.2 is a little bit taller. But then the next district down, T 4.1, doesn't allow for commercial uses at all. So like we're
still
stuck
have
in this
5%
weird in
down,
between.
right?
Correct.
Based on the,
The transition,
you
like.
still would have the transition from.
Have the
So
transition.
the 4.2 would possibly allow like some services, some.
Correct. Good services.
That's the hope.
It does allow for, some different forms of residential typologies. RO allows for single family, two family, and then condominium development where T 4.2, it's up until 12 dwellings per building is the most you can do.
The the 1.1 would not allow for more.
The commercial.
Services. It would really just be
Residential,
residential or office.
not office and.
Not office.
That's the quandary.
I just have a
Because the RO allows for office.
Yep.
It's residential office. Clarification
Mhm.
on the transition.
Yes.
Is that relative to every zone that if you can, depending on their height allocation, there still has to be the transition if it's up next to.
So that's the table there in zone transitions in Article 5. It says if you have this zoning district next to this zoning district, here's what that transition looks like.
We're not gonna have any situation around the city where you're gonna have a high rise right next to a single family neighborhood without some type of transition.
Yes.
Unless the adjacent single family is already zoned like for that higher use. So I'm thinking some of your properties downtown that, I've heard, oh my gosh, they built this big building next to me. And then you explain to people, well, wait a minute, your property is already zoned for the same thing, but they're choosing to develop it at a smaller scale.
The
Yes.
parcel that we were talking earlier about Central and Battlefield has a 7-story building right next to Battlefield, very close to Central, and it is across from Parkcrest.
Yep.
But which is only one floor, residential R1. But the distinction on that, and this is to address some concerns that I see in the audience, it is the difference with that is that the building is gonna be quite a distance from residential. And that is what it is in the code that says for so many feet, you can go so feet higher. And that's why it is within the limits of the specifications that allow this building, because there is a street in between, which is, I don't know, 100 feet or perhaps 150 feet if you consider all the way to the building. So it is not going to be exactly right next to each other. It is going to be a separation of perhaps 150 feet or so.
And that's one of the concessions the developer made, because remember initially they had it designed differently and the planning commission and this body decided, no, that's not going to work in staff. And that was a long time ago.
Am I correct on the 7-story? On that 7th story, that kicks in all the fire suppression.
Yeah, once you get
They
above
probably
75
brought
feet in
more
height.
costs by doing that one more story. They may, I don't know.
It was also a PUD, planned unit development, which isn't in this
So
code.
does that matter with what the mayor's talking about with the fire safety? Because I heard like between floors 6 and 7 is when all the
Yeah,
costs,
so-
because they're responsible.
So there is a few, and
Sprinklers.
there are a few very specific height thresholds where additional costs kicks in. One is at 30 feet because that's when you're required to do aerial access. So the street, or you have to do the 26-foot wide fire access lanes so that they can service the building and that there's room for the outriggers on the truck. The other big one is at 75 feet because that's the delineation between mid-rise and high-rise standards.
Is
So
that
that's why
6 and 7 floor. I need floors. not-
Okay, that tends, so it
Depends
depends.
on what the first.
And
So
the height of it, so
typically a 6-story building, like a very common typology across the country is called 5/1, which it's a single story of commercial, 5 stories of residential above. And they do that, so it kicks in right below that 75 foot. But we do have some buildings in town that went above that and are built to the high-rise standard. Bentonville Plaza would be one example, and the Ledger is built to high-rise standards as well.
So did they have to put in the extra? the
Yes,
cost, for the fire safety?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have to put it in, no matter what, it's code.
It's still, I mean, they can still look into their backyards and see all things. I mean, it's just really awkward to me to see all these big high rise. You act like that's a lot, but it's really not. 150 feet.
Yes, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that it is according to the code.
No, I'm not doubting that, yeah.
It may be so close. Some neighbors will think that, hey, it is right next to me, but actually it is at a distance that matches the standard regulations that were built long ago, not for this particular purpose.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, so I mean, it does seem like this match, this is just hard, like I want to be really careful with our R1 suburban areas that we promised them that we would, but it does seem like since that was previously zoned.
We can't downzone. We
can't
change the zoning.
Just
downzone it.
I was gonna say, there was actually an email about that where they did check with legal. I mean, I hate that this came in like at 2:17 today because, but they did check with legal and
We did
that
one
was
down.
not necessarily true, that they could actually sue us if we zoned it down.
Well, it's not.
I would defer to our legal counsel.
It's from Heidi Stewart, if you look.
We did one down zone on one street and I'd hope to God we'd never did it again because it took somebody based on our plan and our proposal, what somebody could do. They bought property based on that. And then we told them they couldn't do it anymore. We are open for a lawsuit, it's not whether we will or whether they can, it's will they. So, but as far as the land use goes, are we saying we don't want to adopt the land use because of this?
The zoning
or what?
map.
What I would tell you is we were very
This is a zoning item, right?
intentional on the R1, and we were very intentional trying to create those transition zones to try to address them. I honestly don't know any better way we could do it, and we worked really hard to try to put this, and we created our own
I was
code,
gonna say, yeah.
honestly, to be able to try to, we heard those things, account for it in the code, so I hear you. I don't think there's anything else we can do other than what we've done to really address that and then, yes, not get into situations where you're down zoning. I would tell you one thing that helped me was to look at areas where transition zones are. And for me, when I saw it visually, it made a lot of sense. It felt right. Felt right from a planning standpoint when I saw it in other communities. So that's what I did. And so I don't know if that helps y'all or not, but I do know we've been very intentional. We've talked about, there's been a big push to get rid of R1 zoning. We did not do that. Some other communities have done that. We were very intentional, and we were also very intentional with our transition zones to try to account for that, but still allow people to build. So we were.
In this particular parcel that has the concern that came to us repeatedly over the last year and two, the concern about having that parcel R0 as it is today, and moving it down to R1 or something similar certainly opens the door for the owner to complain with the judge and come against us, because it is a situation that is already there.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It is perfectly valid. Today, I had a conversation in this afternoon with one of the owners in that area, and we discussed the situation. Even though their lawyer advised them that they will not have much of a leg to stand on, without being a lawyer and them not being a lawyer, it is the understanding that if they are gonna have a cut in their potential profit for this particular parcel, they're gonna complain. They're not gonna be happy. They'll be complaining about it because they already have the right to do RO, and they cannot be downgraded to R1. They can be upgraded to T42 or whatever it is, but not to R1.
Are we talking about adopting the plan or we're trying not to adopt the plan based on a parcel? Are we discussing a zoning issue with the parcel or are we talking about the land use plan?
The zoning code.
The zoning code, I mean. Community code. If we've drilled it down to something that was an RO to begin with and we're. Is there a motion second on the table?
Okay, I did, to just say there is somebody online. I don't have them signed in.
I think they only got on the Zoom sign up. They didn't actually hit that one. So.
Okay, so,
I knew it was somebody.
okay, so at this time, we'll recognize the person online. If they want to speak. You'll give us your name and address and keep your comments to 3 minutes, or we appreciate it.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. Sorry, I'm out of town, otherwise I'd be there in person. I appreciate you taking the time to look at the parcel on Central Avenue. And I'm glad that you saw the communication from me and others from today about that. There's many people that are concerned about that, especially because it seemed like last year, after much discussion, it was agreed upon by the planning committee and the city council to make all three of those parcels there suburban residential. And now they're saying that one of those parcels is going to be, and I don't know the exact T4.2. And so I'm confused why what's the point of having the plan when it's not going to be followed through? And that's my concern. And I know there's lots that you have to deal with, but we are still concerned about what potentially could be built there, and don't feel that it's fair. And so I appreciate you listening, and I just want to echo that if it's a legal concern, we've talked with our attorney, and there doesn't appear to be a concern that there isn't much that they can stand on in regards to bringing forth the case. And there's more than money at hand here. There's the concerns of many residents, hundreds of residents in the area. So thank you for your time. That is all.
I think one of the concerns that I heard in that particular situation is something that we are experiencing in many places in town, which is traffic. It is absolutely terrible to travel on those avenues. I was coming from College Place into Woods Creek and then trying to cross 72 at 5 p.m. It is practically impossible. Only when somebody stopped, and because there was no traffic coming from P Ridge, then I was able to cross the street. Other than that, I'll have stayed there until 7 p.m. or whatever the time it is, because it is practically impossible. The traffic as it is today is terrible, equally bad as it is on 14th Street and 8th Street and many other streets that we have. It is
on 72 East.
Or out in our
It is like-
board trying to get in and work in the
get out.
morning to go one.
But I think that's why, that's why we have to be very intentional with our roads and what we're doing. And when we make commitments to making things better, we have to be serious about it. And I think that anything that were to come in on that those considerations we would be considering again, right? Based on that.
Well, I mean,
But
they're
I
ready
do
RO,
think
they
that
can build it today. Right?
RO, they could be, yeah.
Yeah, so are we saying that they've already zoned this? And then we're gonna say, well, you can't do what it's already zoned for when this plan passes?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. It is already RO, so we cannot go down to R1.
Okay,
We have to go to R2,
confusing
R3,
it.
R4, whatever. We cannot go down. We have to go either at the same level or up. Otherwise, the owner of the property will be affected. Now,
That's not right either.
the main difficulty on this particular situation, and it is right across from the main entrance to Kensington, it is impossible to maneuver at a certain times of the day. And that is not a situation that happens only there. It is, we mentioned Battlefield and Central and many other places. It is, the situation is very difficult, even though it is only a few hours, at a few times a day, early morning, noon, and at a certain time in the afternoon. It is very difficult for our citizens to travel in the city by car.
Well,
That is.
I concur, especially on 102, which I still call it, and on 12. I can see all the way back to the plateau of Centerton, bumper to bumper, moving at 1 mile an hour, the tens of thousands of people coming into town every day from both east and west. 8th Street. I mean, so it is, would I rather be there than adding to the traffic coming into town? Yes.
Now, this leads us to another conversation that we are not going to have today, but it is the aspect of public transportation. It is what we have today is beginning to scratch the surface, because the miles and miles of cars that we see on the road are not going to become less over time. They are actually leaning to become more of a problem.
Tyler, if someone did try to build on that commercial, the 3-story, would that go to large scale or would that actually come to us?
That would go to large scale, so it would go to planning commission.
So we would never see it.
Well, you would see any kind of subdivision plat, but the development plans themselves would not be required to go to city council, no.
Because it already has its zoning,
Correct.
just like it has now.
Correct.
So currently the RO wouldn't come.
No.
No.
No,
They were to do a development plan.
We're also hearing, apparently there's one attorney, their attorney has said that we can't be sued for downgrading, and then we're hearing we can be sued. So we got 2 attorneys saying 2 different things, which adds to the confusion of clarity, because if we could downzone, why wouldn't we?
But we haven't.
But if we pass this, we definitely can't.
It's not right to down,
Yeah, we haven't done that to anyone else.
in my opinion. I don't think so.
You know, if we want to have a legal discussion whether we should sue it or not, I don't know if we need to have that.
Do we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a
welcome.
motion and second on the ordinance adopting the Bentonville Community Code.
There is one.
I just have one more question. So, Shelley and I have had this discussion. I feel like we got to start somewhere and then do addendums maybe if we need to, because it's a lot. Like, this is
Right.
out of my pay grade.
I already gave him one today.
As far as memorizing all this and knowing this, I'll be the first to admit, it's a lot. And I'm not clearly understanding every single aspect of it. But I agree with what Shelley and I said, we've got to start somewhere. But what does that look like if we do need to make an addendum? What would that look like?
Yeah.
To me.
So we meet internally monthly at what we call code review committee. And what we can do, we can keep this as a standing item as we continue to work through it. Because as you mentioned, like, we know we have to get started with this to know what's working, what's not working, what's working really well, what's not working very well at all. We actually had on Friday what we called Code School at our developers forum, which actually that as well was a good opportunity to educate our development community on, hey, here's what the new code says. Got some good feedback already on, like, hey, have you thought about X, Y, or Z? I think there's a lot of opportunity to, well, one, that event filled up registration. We opened registration Friday. It was closed by Monday. So we always do that session in spring and fall, but we're going to offer a summer session as well for that. We're going to host some internal code training for our both our development review team, but also the development review team in other departments too. And we can certainly open that up and make that a topic of conversation with you guys, with planning commission, and be very transparent about like what we're hearing and the changes as we're bringing them through. Because any of those are going to have to go to both planning commission and ultimately you guys for adoption at city council.
That's super helpful, because every time I dig into this, and I've spent way too much time on both of these topics tonight, but every time I do, I come up with questions and more what if scenarios. And so I thank you for that explanation on the making amendments, because that does, because I want to start somewhere. Like, I don't want to keep, I can't, like, my mental capacity is spent on, and there's so much there.
Well, we're gonna
I
find.
need a degree in it.
And I found, when we open up registration for the forum or for code school, one of the questions we asked was like, what's your most burning question about the upcoming code? Which got all that feedback, which then allowed myself and our team to go back and really tailor that curriculum to answer the questions that the attendees had. I mean, we can continue to do that and iterate upon that.
For me, being technical, I'm looking at setbacks, I'm looking at lot size, I'm looking at the technical aspect on how it affects subdivisions that I was able to do, or can I still do it, or what it will affect. So there's gonna be things as people try to use this, that's gonna come up, and there's gonna be suggestions to be made. I've decided to put them in a format of amendments that here's my thought process, here's what I would change and why I would change it, and I gave that to him to look at future revisions. And I'll continue, if I find something, I'll have them review with the full set of codes with backup information, and so I'm providing that to them so they can discuss it amongst the code review, look at it and see if I can be part of a better solution to it. And that's how I've chosen to do it, is provide them that outline of a document that they can review on their own and implement over time. As we find more things, we're gonna find more things, but like everybody said here, this is the starting point, and so I commend them from getting here. Frankly, I could probably ask questions till the cows come home, but I don't want to. So I'll do it the way I did it today. I'll provide suggestions and go from there.
Do we have a motion in a second?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Sit down.
Roll call, please.
Cart.
Yes.
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 Patterson.
Yes.
Yes. Eva.
Yes.
Yes.
Hot dang.
Honestly, item
Next.
18 is the
Good job.
ordinance adopting the Bentonville zoning map.
So moved.
Second.
Planning item number 18, an ordinance adopting the Bentonville zoning map pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-56-301 and for other purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Eva.
Yes.
Suter.
Yes.
Acre. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Are you boycotting me?
Acre.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Sorry.
Item number 19 is the ordinance adopting the downtown neighborhood overlay district map.
Planning item number 19, an ordinance adopting the downtown neighborhood overlay district map and regulations pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-56-301 and for other purposes.
Second.
In a second, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Acre.
Yes.
Eva.
Yes.
Suter.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Hook.
Yes.
I just want to say something about the overlay. I really appreciate the work you did on that, Tyler. And I think that this was the next best thing we could do to a historic district and the first step in trying to preserve some of our historic culture. So I'm really proud of this council for doing this.
Item number 20 is the ordinance adopting the downtown center overlay district.
Planning item number 20, an ordinance adopting the downtown center overlay district map and regulations pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-56-301 and for other purposes. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Patterson.
Yes.
Acre.
Yes.
Eva.
Yes.
Suter.
Yes.
Burkhart.
Yes.
Hook.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. That concludes our voting agenda. So if I can get a motion to adjourn
So
from
moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will go to, oh, we didn't have anybody signed on. They were all agenda items, so we don't have any public comment. Not on non-agenda items, we'll go to committee review, but I do have, I'm gonna pass this around. If you will indicate to us if you do want the city number that you were given with the phones that the city purchased for you, if you want that listed online, please mark yes or no on here for us, and we will put that phone number up there. We took originally you had your own cell phone numbers up there, and we have taken those down, but we will put the city number back up if you tell us to do that. Also, currently, your addresses are up there. I think they were up there to show what ward you're in. If you want to take that down, you can let us know.
We just put the ward representing up there, not our address.
What ward? Yeah, I think it says ward, but I think it does also say your address. So we could-
Airbnb.
I kind of like.
could say the ward and take the address off if that's what
That
y'all
would
want.
be my preferred.
Yeah.
So everybody would like us to take their address off.
Sure.
Yes.
We can do
Nobody
that.
comes to see me.
Y'all want your address off?
And if they do, they're
Okay.
Like kind of lit.
not there for good reason.
Yeah, no,
That rough with it.
it's like Shannon and I, we just hang out and just
You probably like your fans.
dogs come up, if the dogs start barking, it's like,
Do, committee reviews.
coyotes and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing to declare.
Nothing to declare. Are you sure?
Just been-
Don't want it.
No fruits. So I'm so glad the grandbabies are here. It just feels that way.
Aubrey, anything?
Sorry,
Nothing to declare?
I'm really focused on the form. I do not have anything.
I have something
Okay.
to declare. I can operate my iPad.
Okay,
I have nothing.
I have nothing.
wow, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, so I do.
That's okay. We want to hear it.
Worked on Saturday with her committee.
Yeah, Holly's the only one doing any work apparently, so.
Thanks for telling you about it.
Participated in
It's good.
the tree and landscape tree giveaway. We gave over 500 trees away. The crowd was there way before we were. So it's popular. People are still coming. We do it twice a year. And Shelley, kudos to her, who just, I guess, apparently left. She is now back in charge of us because Taylor has left. And so Shelley was there, and coming back to it after a few years, it went well. So kudos to that, and also to Bailey for organizing the Clean the Streets, which was a good way to, it was called Celebrate America. So I think it was across America this time where everybody was cleaning their streets in their community on Saturday. So two great things coming out of our planning department. So kudos to them.
Yay.
And
I didn't get it.
kudos to the setup for tree and landscape, the traffic setup. By far, I think that's the best that hasn't gotten out into major traffic and back things up. So I think that's a good game thing. They brought them at municipal complex. They brought them up through and on the back end and took them out the back of the complex. And I thought it
No,
went,
did you put?
it didn't get backed up
I
to any of the
remarked
stuff
it,
on Walton or anything.
And we were done by
Yeah.
10 o'clock, which is record time. Actually, we were probably done closer to 9:30, because people came and went. It was almost like Chick-fil-A. We had it down to a.
Maybe you get delivery.
Okay, so I have,
Tree
this is, you guys can give me your comment. We have been asked to do a proclamation as a just served city. Y'all are
Good.
welcome to give me
Sorry, what is that?
just served city.
It's a volunteer thing.
It's a
right?
volunteer, yeah.
Mhm.
So I have that information. If you want to give me any feedback on that, you can.
Have you sent that to us?
school, right? There's.
I think I've got a copy of it.
She's asking if we wanted.
They
to.
have asked us to
Just serve.
be a just serve recognized.
The high schools have
So,
clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you all want to give me any feedback on that, but you can let me know.
So when you say.
And then
be
there is-
designated, what do you mean? To just recognize, get a certificate? or
Yeah, I
something?
think, yeah.
So any obligation.
That's just to do a proclamation, or if we just do it, I think, but we can do it, I don't know, we can decide how we want to do that, but basically recognized as a Just Serve City.
Is
So
that-
y'all can look up the organization and I'm gonna leave it at that. And then y'all can give me feedback on that.
You sent us an email subject.
No.
I have not sent.
Send
them
it
any-
right
no,
now.
I'm just asking you if you.
Write it down on your notebook.
You know, like, the only other thing we got recognized as a Pet City USA before because of, this is an organization wanting to recognize this as, and it has to do with volunteerism and being recognized as. So y'all can look it up and then y'all can tell me.
It's a
Volunteer.
website that connects you with volunteer opportunities. So like you
For
can,
pets.
no, not pets, has nothing to do with pets.
You can travel.
And then also the registration for Municipal League is open. You did miss the early bird registration, but it is open, but, Municipal League Conference is June 17th through 19th. So y'all have to you do have to do your own registration, and everything, and then let us know.
Or was it Fish Pest?
Okay,
Fish Pet?
I
Just,
all right,
just
thank you.
served.
Quick question.
yes, sir.
Are we
You can
using
Google it.
our new email addresses?
You should be.
Because mine's not working. Did you ever figure that out?
Your .gov is not working? They should,
gov.
It should be
they
coming.
should all be working.
Well, you tried it on that day.
Still work?
Don't get in my own.
But it
Yeah,
should
I've
be
had some
recording.
issues.
Yeah, everything forged.
Bentonville AR.gov.
Gonna be your first name with a dot and then your last name fully spelled out at Bentonville.ar.gov.
Are we gonna
So
get new
mine-
business cards? 'Cause right now ours have the old email and our personal phone numbers.
Yeah, we can do that.
I don't need any.
I don't need any. You need a new one.
I'm totally paperless. I'm electronic.
And then you said your-
Yeah. If you feel like you need one,
I
come
threw a whole box.
let
up.
my office know.
How long will they
Still have
be
on it.
forwarding
Somebody needs
our
to-
email to the?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I figure they'll be up in the poster board and, you know.
Okay, I think that's it. Unless y'all have anything else.
Hilarious at this point. Yeah, put it on the community board.
Volunteer.
All right.
Chris, how did you know about that?
Someone said something about pets.
That's not a-
I got an email about it.
Pets.